Ever wonder how the super rich actually manage their money? Well, here's a secret that might just change your life. It's not about how much you earn. Not really. It's about how you manage what you earn. So let's dive into a really simple system that anyone, and I mean anyone, can use to start building real wealth, no matter what their paycheck looks like.
Okay, take a look at this. What's the common thread here? 75% of the wealthiest people are entrepreneurs. 15% are investors. You see the pattern? They own things. They own businesses, they own assets, they own valuable skills. And notice that little slice over there for employees? It's a flat 0%. The biggest takeaway here is ownership. That's the name of the game.
And this quote right here, it just hits the nail on the head. It brilliantly explains the core idea. If you don't own assets that make money for you, you become part of a system that owns you. You know that cycle. You get a paycheck, you pay your bills, and poof, there's nothing left. It's a trap. It's almost like a form of modern-day slavery, where this illusion of freedom keeps you running on a treadmill. The only way out is to start owning.
So how in the world do you make that shift? How do you go from being owned to being an owner? Well, you follow a blueprint, and I call it the 25-15-50-10 rule. It's the exact framework I personally used to go from having absolutely nothing to building multi-million-dollar wealth, and it's designed to help you start your own journey to ownership starting today.
So here's how it all breaks down. We're going to cover 4 key pillars: 25% for your growth, 15% for your stability, 50% for your essentials, and a crucial 10% for your rewards. This is your path to ownership. So let's kick things off with the engine of your wealth.
The very first 25% of your income, that's your growth fund. Think of this as the money that goes to work for you. Instead of being spent on stuff you won't even remember in a month, this portion is used to buy assets. You know, things that actually increase in value over time and put money back into your pocket, even while you sleep.
Now, you might be thinking, I don't have enough to start, but the sooner you do, the better. And let me show you something that will absolutely blow your mind. Meet Billy and Phil. Billy gets a head start and begins investing $200 a month at age 20. Phil waits till he's 30, but to try and catch up, he invests more, $300 a month. So who do you think ends up with more money?
The results are, honestly, they're staggering. Even though Phil invested more of his own cash, $108,000 to Billy's $96,000, Billy ends up with over $1.2 million. Phil, he's got just under $680,000. That, my friends, is the incredible, almost magical power of compound growth. Billy's money just had more time to do the heavy lifting for him. That's a difference of nearly $600,000 just from starting a decade earlier. This proves without a doubt, it's not about timing the market, it's about time in the market. The lesson here is so simple. Start now, even if it feels small, because waiting is going to cost you way more than you can possibly imagine. Okay, so what do you actually invest in? Here's a quick look at some options from lowest to highest risk. For most people, the best place to start is right at the low risk end with index funds. You're basically buying a tiny piece of the entire stock market. But another fantastic investment? It's in yourself. Learning a high-income skill like coding or digital marketing is an asset that no one can ever take away from you.
Next up, pillar number 2. 15% of your income goes to stability. This is your shield, your financial bodyguard. Its entire purpose is to protect those growth investments you're making and keep you in the game when life, inevitably throws you a curveball. This is the part most people completely ignore.
This is so true. And trust me, I learned this the hard way when I was young. I bought this car on a loan, felt like I was on top of the world, and then the engine blew up. I had no backup, no safety net, nothing. That one unexpected bill completely derailed my finances for a whole year. A stability fund would have changed everything for me. So what exactly is a stability fund? Well, it's a cash reserve equal to 5 months' worth of your absolute essential living expenses. We're talking about the core stuff, like your rent, groceries, and utilities. To get your number, just add up those core monthly costs and multiply by 5. That's your target. Simple as that. Now, where you keep this money is critical. There are 3 non-negotiable rules here. 1, it has to be easy to get to, like within 24 hours. 2, it must have 0 risk. Do not invest your emergency fund, ever. And 3, it should still be earning you a little bit of interest in a high-yield savings account, just so inflation doesn't eat it for lunch. All right, now for the largest slice of the pie, 50% for your essentials. This part is all about discipline. The goal here is to cover your true needs while preventing something called lifestyle creep. You know, that dangerous habit where your spending just automatically goes up every time you get a raise, leaving you with nothing extra to show for it at the end of the day.
It's crazy, but over 60% of people earning six figures are still living paycheck to paycheck. Why? Because they're so focused on looking rich instead of actually being rich. I remember when I was young, I had this friend with all the designer gear while I was just wearing basic clothes. But his bank account was always empty while I was quietly building my investments in the background. Real wealth is what you don't see.
To stay on track, you've got to be brutally honest with yourself about what's truly an essential. We're talking about rent, groceries, utilities, transportation, insurance, the basics. We are not talking about daily takeout, that gym membership you haven't used since January, or the latest designer drop. If it's not helping you live, work, or stay healthy, it probably doesn't belong in this 50%. So how do you enforce this? Use a system, not just willpower, because willpower fails. Before you make any non-essential purchase, just ask yourself 3 quick questions. First, is this an impulse buy? If it is, use the 7-day rule. Just wait a week. Most of the time, the urge will completely disappear. Second, are you buying this for the brand or for the actual value it provides? And third, will this purchase genuinely improve their life in a meaningful way? This simple checklist keeps your spending intentional. And that brings us to the final and maybe the most enjoyable pillar, 10% for rewards. Now, this is not an afterthought. It's a crucial part of the strategy. This is the money that keeps you sane and makes this whole financial journey sustainable for the long run.
Now, what's really interesting is the psychology behind this. Check this out. 92% of people overspend after a period of intense saving. Why? It's because saving without any joy just feels like a punishment. This 10% isn't an excuse to be reckless. It's the scheduled cheat meal that makes sure you stick to your financial diet for good.
To get the most bang for your buck here, spend it on things that provide lasting value. And I'm not talking about more stuff that just clutters up your house. I'm talking about experiences, vacations that create memories you'll have forever, hobbies that fuel your passion, and time spent with friends and loved ones. Those are the things you'll actually remember and cherish.
The best way to manage this is to make it automatic and completely guilt-free. Here's what you do. Open a separate bank account, call it your joy jar or whatever you want. Set up an automatic transfer for 10% of your income every single payday. When that money is gone for the month, it's gone. This simple system lets you enjoy your money without ever derailing your bigger goals.
So, there you have it, the 4 pillars that create your path to ownership. The 25% for growth builds your future. The 15% for stability protects your present. The 50% for essentials keeps you grounded. And that 10% for rewards, that's what keeps you going. And this slide right here brings it all together. The 25-15-50-10 rule isn't just another budget. It's a blueprint for completely transforming your relationship with money. It's a system designed to move you from the category of owned to the category of owner, one paycheck at a time. Ultimately, the system is simple, but putting it into practice takes intention. It leaves you with a really fundamental choice about your financial future. Are you going to continue in the cycle, or are you going to use this blueprint to build a life where you own your time, you own your assets, and you own your future? The choice is yours.